Well, what's going on, YouTube? All right. Hello once again, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and welcome once again to In Your Face. And we're actually live for the first time. Right now, I've never tried this before, so we're going to give it a shot and see what goes on. All right, first things first. I'm sure there's a lot of you, trying to keep up with the Prince Magnum channel and everything. Um, a lot of crazy stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Um we got the car show coming up at the Azalea Festival, May the 5th, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be taking Bert up there for the very first time. Uh, Great chance for for Bert TV to get more content besides just comedy. Um, you know, Anybody who knows me, Prince Magnum, knows how much I enjoy going out and hanging out with Bert and everything. So this is going to be an interesting time. So if you're in, Fredericktown, by all means, please come out and see us. Please come out and see us. Along with that, there is another karaoke contest coming up, like right after the Azalea Festival, and basically, the thought process is that we'll go out and the thought process is maybe I should do another karaoke contest and see how I do. This one probably going to be a little bit tougher competition than last time, which last time competition was really tough. It really was tough. Um, just one of them things. All right. Mainly, I wanted to come on here also and talk to you all as well. I know my buddy, the Cadillac Kid, up in, if he's watching, all the way up there in Halifax. I know he got demonetized along with myself and during this whole YouTube ad apocalypse, and they never really paid me like they were supposed to. So it's kind of one of them things they're trying to cheat me out of money. So rather than lose my cool, blow up blow up and everything else, the thought process is that what I'll do is basically, you know, what I'll do is I started my Patreon account, and you, the Maverick Nation, can now, at any time you want, you can go and and drop a little bit of money into my Patreon account, which uh, it's listed as Prince Magnum, so you guys will be able to find it. If you can, drop something in there. If not, hey, I understand. Money's tight. That's just how it is. But the thing of it is that in order for the Prince Magnum channel to continue to keep going and to do much better stuff, we're going to have to I got to bring in some money somehow. And the thought process is, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do to Spirit that I can't do because I just don't have that kind of cash. That's just life, I think we all can agree. Oh, I think I got my first one to come on and check this out. Uh, it's not bothered to show me the chat yet, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, Real quick, for those who do not know, I mean, in a nutshell, the like some of the things that I want to do. I've thought about swapping over to the V8 and that sort of thing in Project Spirit, but I really wouldn't mind rebuilding her inline six. Um, I'll have to put the video footage up, but basically, I kind of opened up Spirit yesterday to see how she would behave. I really hadn't really fully opened her up since we had the new transmission. I say new, since we swapped out transmissions last year. I mean, I kind of opened her up a little bit, but nothing that extreme. And the transmission's just not geared like her old one, so I've lost quite a bit of my top speed. And some of the kids out there that think that their newer vehicles are really cool. I wouldn't mind kind of putting them in their place, if you catch my meaning, every now and again. So I'm going to have to look at a way of maybe increasing her top speed, which the only way to really do that is through gearing. I mean, if you will, I could drop the V8 in and it'll bolt right up to that 3-speed manual. It'll bolt up just fine. I could drop a 302 in there. Shoot, I believe even a 351 Windsor will bolt right up, no problem, and everything will fit. I mean, I might have to cut a hole in the hood and maybe mount a scoop on there from shoot, any hood scoop will fit as long as it can, the filter can fit through and everything. It'd be fine. But even then, I still won't get that much more of a top speed. I'm going to have to look at some way of increasing it, and it's going to have to be through gearing. Now, to my knowledge, Project Spirit's 355 gears is what she's got in her rear end, which is fine. And a set of mini spools would do just fine, to make her into a posi traction rear end, or just go ahead and buy the third member that would completely change her over to posi traction. The only problem with that is we're talking more money, hence the Patreon account. So it's kind of where we're at in all this. I just, at some point, if you guys want to see the major improvements, the hope is that if you guys got a little extra cash, you can drop into the Patreon account, and we can then beef things up. All right. Let's see. So that pretty well covers Project Spirit. Let's see. I'm still working on kind of this video to continue with performance not included, and we'll be able to talk more about. I want to do one kind of on ignition systems, how they did get a major upgrade in the 1970s. Let's face facts. The muscle car era is an amazing time. It was a great time for performance. And if you've kept up with this little mini series, the truth be told, there was upgrades in the 1970s. My cigar went out. There was upgrades in the 1970s as far as performance, and we're gonna. And one of the major upgrades was the ignition system in cars, and a lot of people really don't realize that. So we're gonna dive in, and it may end up being a two-part series. Well, kind of like a two-parter. I don't know, but here, real quick, I'll run over and get it, and kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to be talking about. We'll dive in deeper when it's time, but basically we'll be talking more about this little doodad, this little distributor, and afterwards, for those who do not know, I have I've kind of made friends with VST Ford channel, and he's got a 74 Maverick, and the way it sounds is he may have a mechanical distributor. So once this video is made, if my boy from BST Ford channel needs, I'll send him that distributor. It'll need a couple of little pieces. I think it's going to need a little sprocket down here at the bottom. I know definitely it's got part of one of its teeth missing. I mean, it would be fine for running, if you weren't going to do anything crazy, but might need a couple seals and might need to be cleaned up a bit, but other than that, it'll run. Shoot, it's even got a brand new pickup coil in it, and I'll basically box that up and send it to him as a gosh dang, need to quit smoking. I'll box that up and send it to him, so he's he can help put that Maverick back on the road, because I think he's got either a 200 or 250. I don't think he's really come out and said. Um, but looking at the setup that he's got going on, I've only seen one other one barrel carburetor like what's on his inline six. One other time before, it was on a 147 Ford inline on a Ford Falcon, and basically there's a heater hose that runs through the base, and I guess they figured that warming the fuel before it went directly into the engine might help performance a little bit. And Project Spirit doesn't have that, but his carburetor does, from what I can see. I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't wait to see whenever he finally goes to crank that engine over and see what it sounds like. Kind of a heads up, if you have an engine like that that's been sitting for many years, it could fire up, no problems, run fine, probably serve them for many years to come, or it could end up being where it might smoke like a freight train. We won't know till he actually hits that key and gas starts running through it, and all that good stuff. It could have multitude of problems, but by and large, with the old engines, if it turns over, it'll start. All right. I'm still trying to figure this doggone thing out right now, and trying to see. It's supposed to be. Yeah, I haven't had any chat messages, but that's kind of where we're at in, the car community right now. Surviving romance. I know there's some of our ladies out there who really do enjoy surviving romance, and in all reality, I started surviving romance for a couple reasons. One, if it ever got cold outside or something like that, and I couldn't work on Project Spirit or any vehicle, I would still have some way of making videos. And on the other hand, there was another reason why I decided to do it too, is Princess Faye every now and then suffers bouts of depression, and I thought it might be in her best interest to, we don't have insurance, we can't afford it, and it would be an easier, kind of, if you will, video therapy, a way of showing that I still love her. So when I'm at work, she's here at home, she could watch a video and that sort of thing. And she could, kind of get her, her fix, if you will, of reminding her that, her husband still loves her. And, I mean, all the things you see in surviving romance, that's the real deal. That's kind of one of them things. That I do. I have no idea where I was going with that. Shoot, that's pretty much it. Dang. I'm just testing this out, see if I can go live. Let's see. In Your Face. In Your Face is kind of taking a hiatus. Let's talk about In Your Face. Missouri State Government. Don't think that they've been off the hook. Here and there, I kind of drop lines on other channels talking about how Missouri is really a corrupt state. And for those who do not know, Missouri it discriminates against Native Americans very much. If you have an eighth of Native American in you, they will discriminate against you. That's just kind of how it is. Never mind the treaties. And when I say I'm about a quarter Native American. I mean, for the most, pretty much, I'm pretty well about a quarter Native American on one side of my family. I'm actually descendant of the Pima Indians, which my tribe is slowly dying out. But thankfully, I have 5 children, so added to the population. But Missouri discriminates against, when I say I'm a descendant of, it's enough that I could actually, well, my mother is actually getting the information together to prove my lineage, and I'll be able to actually become, like a full-on card-carrying Native American. Missouri does not like that because they like to violate those treaties as much as possible. So with the cases on my son right now, which I got to go to court Monday over that crap. Um, they want to terminate rights. Well, as fast as possible because they know this is coming. Okay, they know this is coming. Which I mean, regardless, they're still in violation of the treaties. And once, even when this is proven, that they don't like that. On top, and if you don't believe me, I actually have a coworker that at McDonald's that she is a card carrying Native American. A member of the Lakota Nation, and Missouri won't give her any aid. She's a single mom raising kids on her own. They won't give her any aid. They don't want to give her any aid. They'll find any excuse not to give her aid, but they'll give some crackhead walking in the door. They'll give them as much aid as possible, as long as they're white. Okay, it's the cold hard facts. Nobody likes to admit that. On top of that, because I'm a thinker, because I don't take any grief off of, if they do something wrong, I have no problem going, yes, you are wrong. And they don't like that. They don't want you to do that. They want you to roll over and everything. And if you're one of these people that you stand up for your rights, Missouri does not like that. That led to, me being wrongfully accused and having my middle son taken away from me, who's now 10, which that's a whole fiasco in itself. They took away my daughter, Angel Moon, which I've not got to see her. They had no rights to do that. They'll do it anyways. That's just how Missouri is. Now, recently I've been kind of talking with a subscriber of the Prince Magnum channel, and he knows who he is because we've kind of had this conversation on one of my videos talking about how dirty Missouri is. I'm just going to say it. There will be an announcement forthcoming, and we're going to go into more detail on it. The best I will say is the only way to beat Missouri is, number one, get enough people, get the information out there, get enough people who know what's up to basically kind of climb on board, if you will, and start, protesting, what's going on with Missouri. And the only way for me to get that information out there and get people thinking is to go political. And I'm going to have to get involved in the political scene. And it's deep enough where I will be mentioning soon enough what political office I will be running for. I will just say this much to give you an idea. It will be an election that's coming up in 2020. Okay? It's one of those things. Enough's enough. The only way is to go above Missouri, and I know I'm not Missouri's not the only state that does stuff like this, but because Missouri is in the Midwest, you don't hear about it very much. Okay, you won't hardly hear about it. Nobody pays attention to the Midwest. Okay, and real quick, for my wonderful friends here in Missouri. I know some of you want to say, we're in the South. No, we're not completely in the South. We're on the Mason-Dixon line. If you do your studies before the Civil War, we're on the Mason-Dixon line. So we're not exactly in the South. We're not exactly in the North, but we're, St. Louis is the gateway to the West, and we are in the middle of the country, hence Midwest. All right. If you have not checked out the video, Do-It-Yourself Budget Hot Rodding, A Birthday to Remember, please, you might want to do so. It was a very special video. A big shout out to young Austin. Had a great time with you, buddy. It was very special to me, and I hope that that we can do that again. I know his mom is all for it. I know I should probably drag him with me to car shows one day. Again, for you young ones out there who might be watching, I've got nothing against any other YouTube creator out there. I don't want to take any hard hits towards any YouTube creator, because all of us have got to pretty well stick together with this whole YouTube ad apocalypse going on. And it's only going to continue to get worse. You know, now that the whole thing that happened at their office, it's going to get worse. Which I have not heard, but I think the apocalypse has something to do with that whole ordeal. They're not going to rethink their strategy, I guarantee it. So anybody else who has the same idea, forget it. It's just going to make it worse. Quit it. But the thing that I will tell all of you young people is, number one, and very importantly, it's cool that you watch those channels that do the playthroughs and the live playthroughs and everything of all the other video games. But honestly and truthfully, I'm from the old days. If I want to play a video game, I'm actually going to go and play the game. Okay? I'm actually going to go play the game. What's the sense in you watching me play that game? Go out and find out whether or not you like it. You know, you may like it, you may not. You know, what's the big deal? I mean, nowadays, I mean, you can either rent it or play it online. Just go out and find out if you're going to like it. You know, why are you watching somebody else play a video game? I know if I'd rather play it myself, not play with myself, but you get the idea. But at the same time, I mean, if you like cars, get yourself a car, modify it, do car shows. If not, go and fix it up to the point where you could take it to the track, Get out there. Do something, Get off your butt. So, I mean, that's why I don't support channels like that. Every once in a while, I might watch something on a speed run from some nostalgic game, but because I'm not a speed runner. But honestly, if I want to play the game, I'm going to go out and play it. But, at some point, I need to get off my butt, go out and do something. I mean, that's what the Prince Magnum channel is all about, is supporting do-it-yourselfers. So there you go. I really don't want to ramble on too much further at this point. I keep seeing one pop up. Whoa, I got a like. Hot diggity dang. Hot diggity dang. I like that. I'll tell you, well, now that I got the one like, now that means I got to go a little bit longer. Doggone. If this continues, oh, now I got two. Holy crap. Holy crap. This keeps up, I'll have to stay on here. Let's see. Oh, there's a second like. Oh, man. Now, see, I was going to get right in this. Well, I guess that means I got to park my butt for a moment. Okay. Okay. Not a problem. All right. Well, if you're just tuning in, I have just recently announced that because of the problems in Missouri, because of, the corruption and everything, I will be running for a public office, but we're going to go into deeper detail in another video, and we'll probably do this one live. I don't know what day, but we will be doing it here probably real soon. I'll just have to set up a time and a date, and we'll just go live. And I will be running for a public office in 2010. I think that pretty well gives it away, but we'll talk more about it at a later date. State of Missouri government, beware, because I don't think I'll honestly win, but what I believe is that by doing this, enough of the spotlight will be on you guys that you'll have no choice. You'll have no choice but to basically run and hide, okay? That's the objective, is to get enough of the spotlight on the corruption in Missouri that they have no choice but to leave office, run and hide, retire, whatever, because enough's enough. People in Missouri have taken all they need to take. If you ever call over to talk to what they call Children's Division, no, they had it right the first time. Division of Family Services. I mean, that's all they're good for, is breaking up families. And if you are a minority, it's worse, especially, again, if you're Native American. That's just the honest to goodness facts. If you're Native American, which I am, like I just said earlier in this stream, um, they you're a serious minority. Okay, you are a serious minority, and they don't want to give rights to Native Americans. Um, how bad is it to be a Native American in this country? Well, the Lakota Nation, which is a very big tribe, they are thriving and thriving well, I might add. Um, and the Lakota Nation is the one where Standing Rock is going on. The Lakota Nation has been trying for years to get the UN to recognize them. The U.S. government has been blocking that. Okay. Wow. I got 3 likes. Wow. That's big. I didn't even expect that many. All right. But yes, the U.S. government has been blocking that in the UN. If that's recognized, a good chunk of the United States would then be sectioned off. And the Dakota Nation would be actually recognized as a country. But the U.S. government has actually been blocking that. You're not going to find that in the news. Again, you're going to have to get off the beaten path. Um, News outlets like MSNBC and Fox, they're not going to cover that. You all have to understand, okay, wholeheartedly. Uh, News conglomerates like your mainstream, they honestly and truthfully are not going to cover this. Why? Because our government doesn't want it covered. Okay, and uh, and let me say up front, and I know some people are going to get upset, but you'll understand in a moment. Um, I am a Donald Trump supporter, and it's not that I didn't want a woman in office. Believe me, I want a woman in office, but not Hillary Clinton. She's dirty, 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 and there's a lot of things that when you start actually diving into what she does, it's spooky stuff. With me being a Native American and being pagan at the same time, truth be told, I mean, again, I think it speaks for itself. Uh, you know, is Donald Trump the best president we could have? No. If anything, basically, I'm supporting the lesser of the two evils. Okay, that's the honest to goodness truth. Right now, from coming in on my feeds on here on YouTube, we're it's looking bad with Russia. We're sticking our noses where we don't belong, and in all honesty, I mean it's in Syria. We really don't need to be sticking our noses in the business of Syria. And one of the things um, has not happened with any president since John Quincy Adams in the War of 1812, no president has went out and actually led the army. And to me, I mean, if our president is looking at war, any president that is not going to go out and actually get into the front lines with the troops, then no, he doesn't need to send them to war. He's going to be sitting in the cushy confines of the White House, and that's something that I strongly protest against, and that's why. Well, that's where I stand on that. Basically, if you're not going to go out there with the troops, you don't need to be committing troops. That's just the way it is. Real quick, if you're, while we're, kind of talking about things that are up and coming and that car show, I will say this right now, with young hot rodders in the car community, you'll notice a lot of them vaping, doing the vapor cigarettes. Well, with us old hot rodders, we smoke or do a lot of chewing tobacco. I never could get into chew, but it was always smoking. That's one last vice I really have left, okay? And honestly, I really didn't want to take this video beyond 20 minutes or too far beyond 20 minutes. But, it's one of those things. I mean, when I started seeing the likes come up there, which I got 5 likes right in a hurry, I was like, okay, well, I'll go a little bit longer. And I actually have someone who's watching, and it doesn't exactly say on this camera. I don't know why. Wow. So anybody, who's watching right now, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching and, poking your head in and saying, that sort of thing. I appreciate that. Um, Again, my Patreon account is up and running now, so you can now go in and donate if you'd like. Uh, Again, any contributions is helpful. Again, with Project Spirit, and what we will do is I might do a live walk around of Project Spirit. That's a great idea. I just thought of that. See what happens. You guys get me going live, and I start ideas start rolling around in my head. We might have to do that. Uh, but again, you know, uh, car show coming up May the 5th on Cinco de Mayo, the Azalea Festival in Fredericktown, Missouri. Now, if you've never been to Fredericktown, Missouri, it's a beautiful town. It really is. And I'd heard it was about to go out of business, but I hope not. There's a place called the Dairy Bar, which is fantastic. If you've never been there, I mean, it used to be a Dairy Queen at one time, but they lost their franchise and they just kept the restaurant open, and it was really really awesome. Good food there, good food. If you've never been to the Pig in Fredericktown, oh my God, it's freaking phenomenal. If you've never been to the Pig, it's really awesome. Um, the Pig, which that video went, that was a huge video and I put the video up and I called and told them, I said, you guys got a review on YouTube, and told them about it, and a couple people basically put up you know this they put it up on Facebook, and it just went huge. Last I looked, it was over 300 views, or at least thereabouts, and that was absolutely phenomenal. The fact that that they put so much out there, and I appreciated that. It was really awesome. Uh, so if you've never been to the Pig, and for those who do not know, I do go when I do a review, I do go back to those restaurants and kind of see how they're doing and say hi to the people that still work there over a period of time. Um, like I still, I know. One of the first chance I get, I want to go over to A&W and get a root beer float. I love A&W root beer floats, and there's not too many A&W restaurants around, but thankfully we still have one in Farmington. Um, Going up to Sonic, if you've never had one of these, if you like spicy food, and you ever get a chance, go into a Sonic, and they're not going to know it by this name, but I've always called it the Fireball, the Sonic Fireball. And what it is basically you get yourself either a regular cheeseburger or one of their double cheeseburgers, one of their double Sonic cheeseburgers. And what you do is you get jalapeno peppers and their hickory barbecue sauce, or I think it might be chipotle now. I don't remember, but basically you get their barbecue sauce and you slap that on there, and that's a fireball, and it's really good. I wish they still had the cheddar peppers that went with it, because I love spicy food, and so yeah, I mean, if you've never had that, and of course you got to get a root beer, got to get a root beer to go with that, or a cherry limeade. So if you've never done that before, definitely give that a shot. That sort of thing. But anyhow. Okay, well, someone just jumped off the chat. All right, real quick, to go along with this whole live thing, we are going to do this again now that I know I can do it and that sort of thing. This was just kind of a test run. I wanted to see what was up and that sort of thing. Um, Again, the Patreon account is open for you to drop money in. Um, if you do subscribe to that Patreon account, we will kind of make that into something. I'll make that into something special. I have a name for those subscribers that will subscribe to the Patreon account. It's not necessary. Again, if you have any money to drop in there, it's always a plus. I also have the Twitter account. It's Magnum underscore Prince Twitter. You know how all that works. You all are welcome to follow me on Twitter. I do have a Facebook account, but honestly and truthfully, it's not that important. I mean, to me, it's really not that important. It's not a big deal. But you would get to know me on a more personal level if you wanted to look me up on Facebook. Um, that's really about it. I mean, just kind of cover the bases. So we're gonna look at trying to go live every now and again. Maybe at least once a week we'll try to go live and talk more again. We kind of hit it all: politics, surviving romance. We'll be trying to get it. I've got some video footage I have to edit, and that sort of thing. And again, if you're a fan of Project Lena, we will be going over a video as soon as possible, kind of talking about Project Lena and that sort of thing. That's pretty much it. I think I covered it all. All right. As always, if you like this sort of stuff, if you want to see more live streams, be sure to hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. And be sure to leave a positive comment in the box below. Again, I apologize for the length of the video. You know, that sort of thing. And as usual, oh, real quick before we cut away to the usual stuff, say hi, Taver. That's my buddy. All right. As always, for all of you out there, get out there and work on a project. Don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. If you have a sweetheart, sweep her off her feet. Do something special for her. And for all of you out there, if no one out there has told you that they love you, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.